Hey everybody, Timothy here with Mana Rocks. Welcome back to By Force. This is part 4. We've done all of the green guilds and Rakdos. I think what we have left is the white guilds, Azorius and Orzhov, plus the Gates deck, which Gates deck is the one I'm most excited to draft, but we'll leave it up to fate here. I'm going to go ahead and spin our super duper high tech wheel here and see what we're going to be drafting today. Remember, we're going to be forcing this color to the best of our ability, which is not exactly a good thing to do. Orzhov it is. I don't like or dislike Orzhov. Some people seem to think it's the best guild. I'm not 100% sure I agree with that, but Orzhov does have two different decks. You can be aggro or control in Orzhov, and you get good removal. So, well, hopefully we get good removal. Before I click this button, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Just subscribe. Help me out. Appreciate it. Talk to me in the comments below. I like conversing with people. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump in. Ethereal Absolution, now would be the time to open it. I've never opened the card on Arena or in real life, and I've drafted this set a lot. I think Due Justice says I should be opening that after I reconnect here, of course. Alright, so jumping into the first pack here. It's a good pack. Obviously, if I was not forcing a color, I would take Trollbred Guardian because this card is fantastic. I've come around on this probably just being maybe the best uncommon in the set. I can't think of too many others that are better than it. Obviously, some of the CCDD cards are really good, but this card you can just cast and it comes out early enough. Plus, if you're playing a deck with like Growth Spiral, it's turn 4 this and then adapt on turn 5 is pretty backbreaking for a lot of decks. Our choice, since we're forcing Orzhov, is to go with the Enforcer of said guild or Grassman Thrall, and I don't think it's any consideration for Guildgate or Dead Revels. So I'm not 100% sure. I like both these cards. I think I'm going to go with the Enforcer early off because it's an uncommon. I'm less likely to get more of these. I like having a lot of these in my deck because they do match up very well against the green decks. There are a lot of Gruul decks that beat you down, but you have these little Death Touch creatures to kind of ward them off. And I think Grassman Thrall is fantastic, but I'm going to lead off with the first Enforcer here. And follow up with either Summary Judgment or Final Payment. Probably just Final Payment. I like having one or two of these in my Orzhov decks. The more Afterlife creatures I have, the better this card gets. I always get blown out by this card too, so it must be good. Prowling Caracal is hardly a card, and I don't think I've ever actually played Catacomb Crocodile. I've boarded into it, but never really played it. Could consider a Guildgate at some point if we don't see a pick here. Summary Judgment's very good too, but I'm going to take the first Final Payment. Well, there's our boy Gate Colossus. It's definitely the best card in the pack. There's not even really an Orzhov card I want to play. Trumpeter is not really an Orzhov card unless you end up with a bunch of Blade Jugglers. And then Vizkopa Vampire just sucks, and I like to pick that up late. I do notice the Orzhov Guildgate seem to wheel a lot in this set, so we'll keep an eye out for those. Like here, I'm probably just going to take Rakdos Guildgate because I have the Colossus. Bloodmist Infiltrator sucks. Night of Sorrows is pretty bad. Arrestor Zeal is pretty bad. Undercity's Embrace is good against the green decks. Same decks that the Death Touch creatures are going to be really good against. But having picked up Gate Colossus, we're going to prioritize Gates a little bit higher now. Final Payment. I don't think Night of the Last Breath is very good. It's just a little bit too expensive, right? Why pay 7 mana for a 4/4 with some upside when you can pay 2 mana for an 8/8 with like quadruple upside, right? Probably going to take Final Payment here. I could see this Azorius Guildgate. I have one real creature at the moment. I am going to take Final Payment number 2, though. The more of those we pick up early, the less we have to prioritize them. Here's a Gatebreaker Ram, but we're not forcing the Gates deck, so I'm not going to take that, despite my, desire to just slam this Ram and start drafting 5-color Gates. I'm going to take Sentinel's Mark here, and we do need to start picking up some creatures pretty highly now, because we've got 3 things that care about creatures and 1 actual creature. That being said, Trumpeter is still pretty bad, so Rakdos Guildgate it is. Ooh, Grasping Thrall, is that on the wheel? This is pick number 8. No, this hasn't quite wheeled yet, so I'm going to pick up the Grasping Thrall here. Nice addition to the deck. No picks for us out of our opening pack. The Grasping Thrall out of that pack did not wheel, interestingly. And I guess we just take an uncommon for Vault Progress, right? Screaming Shield could be a really bad backup plan. Like a really bad backup plan. This is like a card you want in Azorius, not really an Orzhov. So I think I'm just going to pick up this Catacomb Crocodile and hope not to play it. Nothing for us here either. Simic looking fairly open. Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing for us here, so we'll go ahead and grab a card, I guess. I'll take Locket over the second Crocodile. Late Rampage and Redhorn, that card is fine. Then a bunch of Guild Gates on the wheel that we're not actually going to play. So, okay. Well, I was going to say Pack 1 turned out pretty well for us. We didn't get a lot of good creatures. In fact, we got one good creature plus a Gate Colossus, and we saw when we drafted Gruul, I think it was Gruul, that Gate Colossus just busted sometimes. And we're going to try to make it busted here. We have two really good picks. I guess three. Plague White is a lot better than I gave it credit for. Good old flanking zombie. There's Ministrant of Obligation, which some people are like, oh, I don't think this card's as good. Like, bull. This card's great. You will play this in basically any Orzhov deck and you'll be happy. There's also Revival Revenge, which I happen to like quite a bit too, and I open a lot. I think I'm going to take the rare because it's a little bit flashier. It is also a creature if you end up with enough creatures, which right now we have one. I really don't even want to play the Crocodile, right? But I think people forget that the first half is a perfectly playable card. If you get back a 3-mana creature for 2 mana, like that's a pretty good deal. And then Revenge sometimes just wins the game. I don't think you actually cast Revenge that often, but when you do, it ends up winning you the game quite often. And then there's the Ministrant of Obligation, but wish they were spread out, obviously, but they're not. Nice picks for us here as well. Carrion Imp, Vindictive Vampire, Grudion, Consigned to the Pit, and Imperious Oligarch. I think I'm going to go with Oligarch before I go for any of the others. I don't have quite that many creatures for Vindictive Vampire to be that good. Although I would play it. I'd probably play the first Vampire over the first Carrion Imp. I think Consign's actually my last priority here because I do have double final payment at the moment. Although I will play a Consign. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards we're hoping to wheel here, and possibly the Guild Gate as well. But I like having the early game creatures. Alright, I guess Arena doesn't like me today for some reason. We had just taken... What did we just take? The Oligarch, I believe. Disconnected twice already and not even through the draft. That is not a good sign. But got a pick here as well. Again, man, I wish I was drafting Gates right now. I hope I get all these cards when I do draft Gates, but we could have Colossus, Gates Ablaze, and Gatebreaker Ram in our deck right now. And you just need the Angel in your set, Gateway Sneak. I'm wondering if I take Gates Ablaze or Forbidding Spirit here, because obviously I would play Forbidding Spirit in my black-white deck. This card's solid, if not like amazing or anything. But Gates Ablaze with 2 Rakdos Guild Gates is a strong consideration. This card is really good. I think I'm going to go for it. I know I'm not drafting Gates here, but I think it's going to be good. Concordia Pegasus I could take or leave. I'm going to take Gateway Plaza here. I like Law Mage's Binding, but we're not splashing in blue direction. This gives me a 3rd mana source and a 3rd gate for the red. Summary Judgment here, pretty easy. I'm going to be very light on creatures. So, ooh, Grasp and Thrall. Those keep coming pretty late. This is a 6th pick Grasp and Thrall. High Alert is the card I'm hoping to open when I do Azorius, but I'm going to take the Grasp and Thrall. Play as many of those as we can get. I guess here I've got to make kind of a mature pick and take like Impassioned Orator. Let's assume we're not playing Crocodile, even though we might play Crocodile. How many creatures do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, yeah, that is not a legitimate number of creatures. I'm going to take a 2-drop here, and I guess I would love to splash Carnival Carnage, but I need creatures. I'm going to take Senate Griffin, which we can play off double white, and be fine with it. Nothing for us here. We're not playing Junk Trawler. Yes, there's... I'm not going to play Orzhov Locket plus Rakdos Locket, although that does help with Gates Ablaze. I'm just taking Uncommon for the Vault. Can't stop me. Consign did come back, as did Rakdos Guild Gate. Probably want about 5 to 6 gates to make Gates Ablaze really good. And if my picks are making that better, maybe that makes up for not having the Consign. But I do think it's probably right to just take the on-color removal. Watchful Giant. We're not playing Watchful Giant. We're not playing anything in this pack. I guess I'll take Watchful Giant in the off chance that I just need to fill out some creatures here. I wouldn't say Orzhov is open. Twilight Panther's a nice pick up there. Twilight Panther is actually a really good pick up there. And going into the last pack... No Orzhov cards. Another Gatebreaker Ram. Oh my god. We can only hope, right? Unbreakable Formation is awesome, but you need creatures to make that card good. I'm still going to take it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures. Ugh. Alright, alright. I want to take Summary Judgment, but I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to just take one of these flyers here. Syndicate Messenger is a lot better with Gates Ablaze and the Final Payments. Spirit of the Spires, I think, is generally a little bit better, even though not amazing. I think I'm actually going to take Messenger here over Spirit of the Spires. Just because the +1 toughness doesn't really do that much. Again, I want Summary Judgment, but I think I'm supposed to take creatures. I'm going to take, I think, Noxious Garudion here. Debtor's Transport, I'm not a huge fan of. And Hazda Marshal, or Officer, is just worse than Garudion. I'll take Garudion. I like having the Garudion in my deck. Alright, here's another Oligarch. Pretty easy. I've yet to find a deck where Bankrupt and Blood is good. Noxious Garudion would be a nice little second, but I'm going to take the 2-drop. I like the Oligarch quite a bit. Follow that up with Plague White. It's a decent attacker. I don't have Spectacle cards in my deck, so we don't need this card to be insane, but I would rather have this than the second Twilight Panther, especially already having a Garudion and an Orzhov Enforcer. I don't really want to play the subpar version of those cards, so Plague White it is. Another Colossus. Kind of absurd. We're taking it, and then just slam any gate we can play. Ooh, Orzhov Guildgate. I like Undercity Scavenger, but we just became Gates.deck. Thirst and Shade is bad in basically every deck, so Concordia Pegasus is a blocker, I suppose. Another Consign to the Pit, not super excited about that one. And unfortunately, off-color Guild Gates aren't going to help us here. It looks like we're going to be a 4-gate deck, though, which is a little skeptical. Take a 3-drop. Bankrupt in Blood, no thank you. Macabre Mockery is a consideration. The card is fine. And it looks like we've got our deck here. A little bit of a hodgepodge for sure. Not full-on Orzhov. But we've got some of the key Orzhov cards, mainly Final Payment, Grasp and Throw are cards you're usually looking for. We need to cut 2 cards. I think one of the consigns comes out easily. I'm probably not supposed to play 2 Gate Colossus off just 4 gates, but this is still a good late game threat for you to work towards. Gates Ablaze is also a little bit worse here, but I think it's fine. Excuse me. Alright, so we end up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I'm not going to count the Gate Colossus as creatures, because once they're out, like our Unbreakable Formation and whatnot, Final Payment, we're not looking to really, combine those with Gate Colossus. So 13 creatures. Orzhov Locket does seem like reasonable here. Lets you play a turn 4 Grasp and Throw. I don't think I have that much card advantage. Basically no card advantage. So I'm wondering if I cut like Concordia Pegasus, or maybe I just cut the Gates Ablaze. I'm not going to play a Mountain, I know that for sure. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I don't love Senate Griffin in general, but I do like the Senate Griffin here. With virtually no sideboard. Gates Ablaze is a little bit unreliable with just 4 gates. Maybe I bring this in against Rakdos and whatnot, and then I just don't start it here. Because I'm often only going to have 1 gate on board, and that's not going to be that good. But if I play against like a deck like mine, where they're going to have a bunch of little weenie creatures, then it's going to be pretty good. I think this is what we're going to run here. Not the most succinct Orzhov deck I've ever seen, but double Gate Colossus gets us somewhere. Even if this costs 6 or 7 mana, it's still insane, right? Even if you get to the point where you just cast it for 8, that's pretty good too. But I think this is going to be our deck. Not insane, not terrible either. We've got a decent amount of removal and some pretty good finishers in cards like Unbreakable Formation, Revenge. We've got a couple Grasp and Throws too, so that's going to be our deck. Hopefully we don't disconnect during the matches. That would be bad. But yeah, full on Orzhov. Thanks for watching by Force, and let's get into the matches. See you there. Can't cast any of our spells. This is a little bit better. It doesn't actually go anywhere. Yeah, I'll keep Oligarch on top. Just have a couple early game plays that threaten our opponent's blockers. Obviously, if they play like a flyer, then we just die, but it's fine. We could draw a Final Payment, make this hand a little bit better. I'm going to run out Oligarch here. Just deals more damage. If my opponent is actually playing gates here, then I get to deal an extra point. Don't think I'm going to need to block yet either. Alright, Colossus, not exactly what I wanted to draw. This is the price you pay. Could be running into a fairy here, but it doesn't look like we are. And see if they want to quench us. They do not want to quench us. Also, no indication that they're a Gates deck. They could just be Simic at this point. But a lot of people are Gates decks on Arena due to, ooh, I like my opponent casting that. It means no big 3-drop or anything like that coming down this turn. This also can't find a land. They found Senate Griffin, okay. Rakdos Guildgate's a good draw. It's basically 2 mana towards our Gate Colossus. I'm still not playing around a fairy. And we'll ship the turn. So drawing another Guildgate would actually be kind of good. Obviously, we want to draw a bunch of removal. I can also attack all my creatures into Senate Griffin, which is nice. They all trade off for it. Opponent probably doesn't want to go down to 8 on turn 5. That's not bad either. What does that let me do? So if I play Hazda Marshal or Officer, I give something +1. Doesn't make my attacks better, but lets me spread it out a little bit more. So I can go ahead and give Twilight Panther +1. That's the creature I would most like my opponent to trade for at this moment. Now I don't have to threaten the Death Touch. I can just attack with everything. Opponent probably blocks Twilight Panther? No, blocks Enforcer. Interesting. So it takes a little bit more damage and replaces one of my creatures. Maybe they just want to fight through the Death Touchers, I don't know. I'm 2 mana away from Gate Colossus. Alright, well, we get to just steal game 1 from a slow start from the opponent. Playing Orzhov aggro there. With imagine if Colossus was just like, I don't know, the Loxodon, the 4 mana 3/3 that pumps our guys. Like, it would have been way better there. No real indication for us to change anything. I don't really have much I can sideboard anyway. Consign against big creature decks, which this might be. I don't really want 2 consigns on the draw and then Gates Ablaze. Also, Macabre Mockery tends to be decent against them, but I'm going to run it back as it is. See you in game 2. Oh, Colossus. Yeah, I'll keep this. Oligarch, Sentinel's Mark, potential revival if we want to do that. Oh, there's more to the story, huh? More to the story. So opponent could be Teamer, could still be Gates, we don't know. Hybrid, Sauroform hybrid. Alright, Summary Judgment was a fine draw, but I would like to just rattle off a bunch of lands. I'm going to play Oligarch here, because that trades straight up. Enforcer is going to be good against later game creatures, especially if they just deal with Oligarch here. That, yeah, I would rather them Scorchmark that than the Enforcer. Lands. Scorchmark is just always going to be good against us. Let's go and play out our Enforcer and pass. See if they have another Scorchmark. Gyre Engineer. I guess that's a little bit threatening. See what they play with it, though. Alright, we really wanted to hit lands there. As it is, we've just got to pass. Opponent can threaten to adapt Sauroform Hybrid, but they're probably just going to play other spells from their hand this turn, since Hybrid doesn't get through our Death Toucher anyway. Slimebind our guy. Sure. And then I assume they're going to attack, which gives me a good opportunity for Summary Judgment. I could also block with the Enforcer and then revival it back and save Summary Judgment for this Senate Courier, or Senate Griffin. They might not attack here. And they do, so let's just block here. This opens up revival as a possibility. Also gives me the Spirit, which is fine. Opponent's down to 1 card. Could still Summary Judgment as well, but don't think I'm going to do that. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and play out Messenger. Actually, my opponent, now that I know I can cast this Messenger to block the Griffin, I think I'm just going to take 3 and go ahead and take out this hybrid while I can. And I don't know if I want to cast Revival. right now to get this Enforcer back. No, I'm going to hold on to Revenge at the moment. Maybe a way to close the game after I fall behind here. Opponent with 1 card in hand, lots of mana. I'm going down to 18, but with tons of plays. If I draw another land, Grasp and Thrall is great as well. Alright, we'll just run out the Thrall. See if that resolves before I attack or not. It does. And we will jam. See, now I'm 1 mana away from casting Revenge, which puts me at 34 currently. I'm not blocking this, of course. My clock is better than their clock at the moment. Gallopin' Lizrog, 3/3. That is why this card is not great. And Grudion was a decent draw against it. Probably go Sentinel's Mark plus Noxious Grudion, right? I didn't have an answer to this Thrall. This makes it so that my opponent can't race anymore, can't even attack anymore. Definitely attacking with both. Probably wouldn't chump with the 1/1 even if they killed my Grasp and Thrall, so might as well jam with both here. And then I'll play a Grudion. That makes it so their ground attack isn't even that good. Ooh, they have something. Slimebind. Not bad. Still have a 5 toughness blocker. So the Senate Griffin is not getting through unless they want to use another removal spell. Incubation's a fine draw for the opponent there. Wonder if it might be right for them to hold up the Incongruity to get rid of the Death Toucher, but maybe not. They want to find action here. Yeah, if they get rid of Grasp and Throw, leave me with a 3/3, then that's not amazing for them, because they can't really attack the Lizrog into the Grudion. They can, but it's not great for them. What do they got? Oh, Gate Colossus. Alright, well, I'm fine losing the game too, I guess. Just see how absurd of a card Gate Colossus is. I'm not particularly close to playing mine. Consign will be a good draw, but we need to get there. And we have like 1 turn to get there, so. A lot of arena games are decided by Gate Colossus, which I don't love, but I have it in my deck too. I'm just not close to casting it. Can't block this thing. So I need to draw a basic land, essentially, and hope my opponent doesn't draw gates. We did not. That does chump block, though. That can block the Colossus, and Scry gets us closer to another land. We'll pass and hope they don't have a removal spell for our Senate Griffin. Should probably attack with Syndicate Messenger there. Alright, did you draw a removal for the Senate Griffin? Okay, sure. So opponent drew very well there against us. I think that Colossus just came off the top. And shows you how good Colossus is. We were just going to destroy that game, right? Even if they draw in the Swirling Torrent, we were, they're not ever attacking us. I like Consign. Well, Consign's not even that great, but against things like a giant Lizrog, I'm going to take out one of the Colossus. But I think we were going to win that game minus Colossus. See you in game 3. Alright, this is another good beatdown hand if we draw lands. We go 1-drop, 2-drop, 2-drop, and then potentially 4-drop Unbreakable formation. I mean, that's the plan right now. Our opponent does have big creatures, and they're mulling. That's good for us. Colossus is probably one of the best cards you can have against Orzhov, because Orzhov relies a lot on its Death Touchers to get you through the big creatures, and none of the Death Touchers in this format can block it, so there's that. There's some argument for playing Concordia Pegasus there, since it's more likely to be able to attack into whatever my opponent plays on turn 2, but Oligarch attacks into most of those same things. Like here, they're probably not going to trade Sora-Form Hybrid for Oligarch. Could trade for Twilight Panther. I doubt they're going to block at all. And the more creatures I can get out, the better. Best thing I can draw next turn would be a Plains. So I could play Senate Griffin and then set up this Unbreakable formation. I have final payment for a big creature, which is nice. Gyre Engineer, quite good. Probably also not blocking with that. They can't even attack now with the Pegasus on board. Plains? I'll take it. There's no way we're running out the Unbreakable Formation right now. Don't think my opponent's blocking with anything. No, okay. I can respect that. Keep their life total high. Does give me another flyer for this Unbreakable Formation, though. If they play something big here, I'm probably just going to jam Final Payment on it with 5 life. They can cast Colossus, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, they need 1 more mana. Oh, okay. Jeez, that card is busted. Really good against me, too. Thankfully, we're just going to kill it. And cast Senate Griffin. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have, like, Gates Ablaze or something. Alright, Gateway Plaza, we're going to not be able to cast that. It's the downside of playing this. Or cast, not going to be able to play it, I should say. Swamp can go to bottom. We'll go ahead and jam for just 3 here. Put our opponent down to 11. Then next turn we have 2, 4, 8 damage in the air. Alright, Mammoth Spider's pretty good draw here, not going to lie. Oh, Grasp and Throw. Well, we're definitely going to try and get as many creatures down as possible before we play our Unbreakable Formation. So I'm going to attack with Twilight Panther. There's a chance they block and Slimebind it, but this is the creature that's most unlikely to get in damage with the Unbreakable Formation. Mammoth Spider does wall off some damage here, though. It's pretty good. Wrecking Beast. I don't think I'm too worried about that either. I think I can beat a Wrecking Beast. Alright, they gave it haste, so they're going to attack. Okay. Okay, that's respectable. That's respectable. Alright, Plains was a decent draw, so now I can cast Grasp and Throw and hold up Death Touch on Twilight Panther. If I cast Unbreakable Formation, they block this, they take 2, 4, 6, so not quite enough. But the Grasp and Throw makes it so I'm very unlikely to die next turn. And, let's see. Let's say they kill one of these, block. Get in 1 damage here. I'm going to say no to that, though. Maybe they don't even attack with the Wrecking Beast. Alright, Hybrid does not change the flyer math. They do not want to trade their 7-drop for my 1-drop. And we can play that plus Formation. And they can block 1 flyer. Let's say they block a flyer. They're going to be indestructible, so I can attack with everything. Yeah, let's say they block a flyer plus they Slimebind another flyer. Then they take 2, 4. And then this makes it 5. Yeah, let's just cast Hazda Officer. I'm not playing around a counterspell. I don't think they have one. Go ahead and pump up something I care least about. Cast Unbreakable Formation during main phase with Addendum. Jam with everything. If they don't have anything, they're dead. Because they can block a 4-power flyer and then take 4, 6, 9 in the air. Alright, well, that was play versus draw there. If we were on the draw, that would have gone much differently, I think. But opponent had some good ones. Skargan Hellkite, one of the best rares in the set, plus Colossus, which we're going to have to crawl our way through potentially like 5 more Colossus. Everybody just has it in their deck. But we get to advance to 1-0. See you in match 2. A slower hand, but it has some control elements to it. Summer Judgment's always nice to have when you're going to have a bunch of tap lands starting off. I am on the draw against Chip's Zookeeper. Opponent mulled as well. Guess decided on mulligan here. Top. And we lead off with the Rakdos Guildgate. Tapped Swamp. Makes Colossus better. I do think probably 1 Colossus is enough. Alright, I'm going to go, well, to blue-white. Yeah, let's go ahead and just run out this Oligarch. If they quench it, I don't really care. That gets me something that can attack here. Blue-white usually has something that can block pretty well. Yeah, so Anytime my opponent plays this, I'm just worried about High Alert. Like, High Alert just crushes people. As it is, I can play Plains, Concordia Pegasus, and that's it. Now, against the High Alert deck, Gate Colossus is usually really good. Syndicate Messenger is fine. Reasonable card. Now is a good turn to go ahead and just get down Gateway Plaza and pass. Our hand's not exceptional here, right? We're going to consign like a 3 or 4 drop. Chillbringer would be, I guess, the worst thing my opponent can play. That's not that bad either. And this does look like a High Alert deck. Alright, Unbreakable Formation is something. Not that it really does anything with the creatures we have at the moment. Can't rule out Quench either. Opponent could just be representing it here. I guess Colossus is the card we want to draw. Alright, there is a Chillbringer. I'm going to go ahead and tap down Concordia Pegasus, I assume. Might be able to use Sentinel's Mark as a combat trick here. Looks like my opponent's going to attack with everything, and then I Sentinel Mark the Oligarch. Also turns it into a 3-power. Oh, cool, they untapped that one. So, yeah, I think instead of taking 1,000,000 damage, don't think Lifelink's going to matter too much. Let's just go ahead and kill this veteran while we can. So I'll have a 3/3. And take 3 damage this turn. We still have Summary Judgment for Chillbringer. Probably just going to consign Chillbringer. Does that change things? I can go Senate Griffin plus hold up Summary Judgment now. I will attack with this Oligarch. If they want to trade for Messenger, then it's basically Spirit for Spirit, and I don't think Oligarch's going to be great. Oh, never mind. They can't trade for Messenger. They can only trade for Chillbringer. So let's go Senate Griffin then. And, I think I'm going to keep that on top. Revenge is pretty good right now. My opponent would lose 9 life. I would go up to 34. See if my opponent attacks. They do. I can't attack into Courier. No, it's right for me to have more creatures on board with this Unbreakable Formation. I think I'm going to go Revenge next turn, just get my life total way out of range. Maybe eat a counterspell from the opponent here. I don't have anything for Revival to be great. If they counter this, I'm not too worried about it. They have 2 cards in hand. They didn't cast anything else. Sure. Doesn't change that much. No point attacking with Oligarch. Did I have Pegasus untapped last turn? I might have had the Pegasus untapped to block with the Syndicate Messenger. That is a real card. That's probably going to eat our Consign. Or is it going to eat our Consign? Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably going to. Yeah, let's go ahead and Consign Skitter Eel. I will play out my land. Pass. Opponent's not going to have discard in their blue-white deck. 1 card left from them. We're hoping to draw Colossus as one of our best cards. Every time I draw a creature, I'm just going to run with that creature over. Running with the Unbreakable Formation. Breakable Formation isn't even that insane when I cast it. It does give me 2 4-power flyers, which my opponent can't just ignore. Uh-oh, opponent might have another counterspell in hand, though, based on that little pause there. If I draw a gate, I'm going to leave it in my hand. That way, if they counter a Colossus, I can get it back. That's not great. Still can't run something into my opponent's spells here. They clearly had something there when I cast Impassioned Orator. I can't say that 100% because they have this activated ability up, and it's always going to pause for them as long as they can do that. What am I worried about? How's the Officer? Okay. Give this Syndicate Messenger +1/+1. Sure. Could double block, but I'm not going to. Suspecting like Thought Collapse from my opponent. Let's go ahead and play out a Lock It. This will incentivize me to play out my land. And I think I crack Lock It right away. No, I would rather hold up Summary Judgment here. Has the Officer can start attacking because my opponent probably doesn't care much about trading that off. Probably just block with the Oligarch. Or maybe the Impassioned Orator. I am falling behind here. My opponent's drawing cards. They're not playing any more lands. They've got to have some number of spells in their hand. I'm assuming at least one more counterspell, but these Azorius decks tend to have all Thought Collapses and Quenches. Alright, those are action, I suppose. Let's go ahead and run out Plague White, which does attack somewhat through my opponent. Oh, if they want to counter Plague White, I'm super happy with that. It looks like Essence Capture, though. Okay. You got another one? They do, of course. Why wouldn't my opponent just have double Essence Capture in their hand? Alright, well, opponent had double Answer. Still not the worst thing in the world. I might be able to use Unbreakable Formation as a combat trick here, depending on how their attacks go. I'm not going to play around a third counter spell. Does explain why my opponent wasn't doing anything, though. Could also just let Chillbringer hit me and then use Summary Judgment to kill it, since it'll be 5 damage on my turn. Oh, I don't have a double block that actually deals with it, though. Annoying. Very annoying. Oh, Swirling Torrent. That's gross. Does give me a little bit of life back, though, so I'm going to be able to recast those cards. I mean, we're definitely blocking here, and then the question is, do I trade for the Orator? I don't think I do. I think I take 8, go down to 4, recast my creatures, Summary Judgment the Chillbringer. I'm going to gain 2 life back, and then I'll have 4 creatures again to my opponent's 3. Yeah, let's lead off with the Summary Judgment, and they want me to tap weird for that. Let's go ahead and pop Chillbringer, deal 5 damage to it. Go and play Oligarch, gain me a life back, and then play the Griffin, hopefully find one of our 2 Colossi. They are still in my main deck. Has the Officer... I think I could probably do better than that. Gives me an okay attack next turn, not like a great attack. Guess it's worth just keeping on board, or keeping on top with the Unbreakable Formation. Still can't really attack, though. Could get in 1 damage here, but need to play defense. My opponent's got to flood out at some point. Ooh, Night Arbiter's really good. It's gonna clock us really quickly, actually. I mean, really quickly. Alright, what are we giving +1 here? The Griffin, I suppose? This gives me an attack with the Griffin. They could double block here, trade off with the Syndicate Messenger. I could also go for Unbreakable Formation this turn, but that doesn't seem right. I have double Final Payment in my deck, so I can deal with Arbiter. Still just draw a Gate Colossus and swing this in my favor. Alright, I think I get rid of Senate Courier here. Could also save my Griffin. We're not going to do that, though. Trading a creature for a creature. Sure. Geez, my opponent's drawn exactly 7 lands and nothing else except gas. Alright, I think I'm going to... Well, I don't necessarily know that I'm going to lose here. My opponent can start attacking for 3 a turn. Drew another spell. Ridiculous. Now they're going to scry land to the bottom and be like, haha, gotcha. Yep. Take 3 here, probably. Alright, no, opponent could attack with these 2. In fact, I'm not sure why they didn't. Probably, I don't know why they didn't. Twilight Panther doesn't do it. I guess, well, no, I'm just dead, right? Attack with this. Yeah, I'm dead to the flyers. My opponent might not see it, but I don't want to show them any more information. Man, I really needed a Colossus there. Or my opponent did not have an answer to every single thing I cast. Don't think I bring in another Consign against this opponent. I do think I want the double Colossus. Colossus is insane. The game's going to go long. Gates Ablaze does not seem good, though. So let's run it back and go to game 2. Opponent's deck, but we could draw some Death Touchers and then attack into our opponent's creatures. It just are things like Oligarch take a hit when our opponent's just going to play high toughness creatures a lot of the time. Grasp and Thrall should just be generally good. Doesn't get through Senate Courier, but it's not bad in general. Let's go ahead and attack. Haven't seen a fairy. Not going to play around a fairy. And we'll go and pass. Opponent does have double Essence Capture in their deck, which is something we can play around if possible. Hazda Officer, fine by me. I will attack into that. Something to do this turn would be great, of course. Attack. No block from the opponent. Alright, hopefully my opponent just taps out this turn. I can land this Grasp and Thrall. They keep up double blue. There's no way I'm casting it. Wallmage is binding our Oligarch. Okay, well, I'm probably just going to Final Payment now to kill their guy. Yeah. Target this. Sacrifice this. It's always weird. Like, you always want to target your own creature because you think you should sack first. Alright, so this kills their guy and their Final Payment. Gives me a little bit of value off of a creature that wasn't going to be relevant anymore. Go and attack for 1 and play a Grasp and Thrall. Opponent missed a land drop there as well. And we can consign the next creature they play. So I think we're definitely in the driver's seat here. Of course, if they kill Thrall, we don't have much of a clock on them. Another Wallmage's Binding or something like that. Another Hazda Officer. These are not the cards I expected my opponent to have. I don't think I'm going to consign that. Ooh, Colossus. I'm 1 away from casting it, right? Yep. Yep, I'm just going to jam and pass. I'd rather save this consign for a flyer. Could have a Summary Judgment now to kill our Thrall. Oh, they did have a Summary Judgment. Can't save it with Sentinel's Mark here either. Land off the top would not be bad. Get this Colossus down. It doesn't quite do it right. Gives me an extra mana for Colossus, but I have to use one of mine. I wonder if I could go Sentinel's Mark on this thing. Get in there. Nah, Sentinel's Mark on Colossus is lethal, so I'm going to just attack for 1 and pass. Again, I need my opponent to tap out and then not have an answer for Colossus as well. It's asking quite a bit. My opponent's on all spells. No, opponent didn't do anything. Makes me a little nervous. I'm going to attack, see if I can eat a spell mid-combat. Opponent didn't attack me, though, which is weird. I'm not going to cast anything. I could go for a Consign, but my opponent didn't attack. I don't see any reason to let them use a counterspell here. Clearly holding up at least an Essence Capture. Probably going to go for the Sentinel's Mark here if my opponent does Stone Cold nothing. They're discarding instead of casting spells, which is just weird to me. Make him use a Slime Bind or something. Oh, Warrant. Okay, so just kill my guy. Go and slam Colossus here. Geez, opponent's got some good control cards. All Mages Binding. Warrant's really good. Alright, now deal with Colossus. You can chump block it for a turn. Could have like Arrester's Admonitions or whatnot. Alright, that kind of works. Doesn't mean they don't necessarily have to chump this turn, but I get to slam the Senate Griffin now. Opponent's very mana screwed. The opposite, I guess not the opposite of last game. They drew like the exact amount of lands they wanted. Another Colossus on top. Just pass. Now they're dead to both creatures. And I have a Consign, so even a second blocker is not going to do the trick. Alright, Chup Zookeeper, I got you back for that one. Still flooded. Gates Ablaze does look a lot better against a bunch of 3/2s, but I don't think that's the right call here. Opponent just got mana screwed there, so it's not exactly a good indication of how this game's going to go. Bankrupt in Blood does get better when your opponent has Slime Binds and whatchamacallits? Slime Binds and Wall Mage's Bindings. But we've already got 2 final payments to kind of prey on that. Yeah, we're going to have to let our Colossus do the trick for us here, I think. Don't think that's going to be a good indication how these games normally go on account of our opponent getting mana screwed that time. But they've got tricks and whatnot. This is not a great hand, but I'm going to keep it. Has mana. Has some late game threats to play out. Might just even play Pegasus on turn 2, depending on what the opponent does. They don't have a lot of 2-drops in their deck. Yeah, Pegasus doesn't seem super relevant here. Guess I can run out an Enforcer. That attacks into them well. If they want to quench it, so be it. Just need to get this down before turn 4. Ooh, I like them using an Admonition on a creature that's not doing much. They get to cycle it, of course, which is not amazing for me. Still think I'm just running out Enforcer and passing. Next turn we go 2-drop plus Gateway Plaza, and then we can turn 5 the Grasp and Throw. 10th District Veterans okay. Opponent missed a land drop again. I'm going to attack and then play Concordia Pegasus. Shaboom. Opponent missing land drops does mean that they can't just hold up counter magic forever. They don't even have a second blue for Essence Capture. Alright, well, that does give them a good attack here. But it does give me a clear opening for Grasp and Throw. Untap that officer. Alright, they get in 3 damage. Pretty good. Gonna leave back Enforcer here, but I do think I'm attacking with my Pegasus. Get in small amounts of damage while I can. I will trade off Enforcer for a 3/2. God, it always feels so good casting a Grasp and Throw. Just like almost instantly stabilizes you by itself. Opponent passes. We're not going to cast anything into that. We're just going to, let's see. They have Summary Judgment. Just attack with Pegasus. I'm not going to throw away my best creatures into open mana here. I'm going to wait for my opponent to use their mana, tap out, and then do stuff on my turn. Like I can consign something here. All Mages Binding on Thrall. That's decent. It does make our final payments better if we draw them. Like here, Bankrupt and Blood wouldn't even be that bad. Alright, Syndicate Messenger. I do need to draw something here. My hand's not insane or anything. No attack. I'm surprised. Senate Griffin's a decent draw. Looking for final payment. Colossus. Twilight Panther I don't think is going to get the job done here. Could attack with Enforcer, but I'd rather have it back on blocks. Alright, Skittereel's decent. Probably good enough to consign. Oh, that's a little bit better. We'll go ahead and think we might not even attack with the Enforcer. I mean, if I get this flyer out of the way, I can start attacking with my Senate Griffin. Consign might be a little bit better to use here. Do need to start getting some damage in. I do think my opponent has a Summary Judgment, though. They haven't used it yet. Let's see. I guess I can pass the turn here and see what my opponent does. Because if I can get them... They're not going to attack Skittereel into Enforcer, I don't think. But they might make a big attack. And if I can get them to adapt and then blow them out with Summary Judgment, then I think that's going to play out a little bit better for me. Also just have final payment at the ready here. Alright, what's it going to be, opponent? Chillbringer. Our opponent could also just have all the good stuff. So they're going to go and tap the Death Toucher. Sure. And I'm expecting some sort of attack here now. Like just that. I think I'm okay just taking that. And then we'll Final Judgment. No, I guess we've still got a Final Judgment Skittereel. No, we have Consign for that. Yeah, just no blocks going on here. Alright, let's go ahead and Final Payment. Sacrifice Creature, target Chillbringer, sack Grasp and Thrall. Alright, Plague White is fine. Just fine though, right? Plague White coming down, and then we hold up Summary Judgment plus Unbreakable formation, I guess. Maybe I'm supposed to just consign this right now. Then my opponent gets pretty much a good attack with everything. Alright, Plague White it is. My opponent plays a land pre-combat. That makes things a little more complicated because then they can do the double adapt thing, where they adapt and then I try to Summary Judgment in response and they just adapt it again. Alright, getting in there with Skittereel. So let's make this juicy for them. Let's go here, here. I assume they're going to adapt. I guess they could also just use a trick from their hand. A couple things that get me here for doing this, though. Okay, cool. Get them to use a bunch of their mana. We do take 3 here. Jeez. Alright. We definitely need to be hitting spells here. Wonder if it's time to go for formation. Or maybe just use the consign on the Syndicate Messenger. Start getting in there. I can afford to play around Quench here. Yeah, that's probably right. And then at least my flyers can start attacking. If I attack with Griffin, I suspect they go for Summary Judgment. If I attack with Pegasus, maybe not. And then what do my blocks look like? Enforcer still in the 3-2. They can attack pretty freely with this. Alright, I'm just going to attack with Pegasus here. Again, chip in a little bit while I can. A little bit worried about Swirling Torrent. They need a 6th land for that. Alright, just going to make a dude. You got a dude. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Unbreakable Formation is not lethal. We can run out Oligarch. If I play Unbreakable Formation right now, the only good block they have is the 4-4 on Concordia Pegasus. Or they could block the 4-4 on, like, Plague White. This is probably right. I'm going to go for it. While there's a pretty clear opening. None of my creatures are going to die, right? They could chump with the Spirit Token if they want to take less damage. The Oligarch is not attacking, despite looking like it's part of this attack. Wouldn't be surprised if they chumped with the Spirit here. This is 9 damage. Yeah, that's a little bit of a tough decision for the opponent here. Anything else is a chump. Any of the ground creatures blocking is a chump. So we put our opponent at 3. Interesting. With multiple lethal attackers on board. So I do suspect something like Swirling Torrent here, which would set me behind. If they're little Sarah Angel attacks, do I block? Make them use something on their turn rather than on my turn? Like, if I block like that and they slime bind my guy, does it get any different if I wait till my turn to do that? It's kind of what I'm suspecting. Okay. So yeah, I trade a slime bind for my Senate Griffin. I also don't take that damage, which is relevant. Okay, Impassioned Orator. I'm going to run that out pre-combat, because I'm probably going to lose some creatures here. I can attack with Plague White and Enforcer for sure. I still suspect my opponent has Summary Judgment. Maybe I attack with all 3 of these. If I attack with Concordia Pegasus, it gets blocked. They Summary Judgment Plague White. Yeah, I'm going to attack with all of these, suspecting that they'll deal with at least one of them before blocks. Any straight up trades are great for me. Just getting a bunch of flyers on board would be nice. Here comes the Judgment on Plague White. And now they can block Sphinx on 3-2, and then they can't really just take 2. They can trade off. This does give me a couple flyers on board, but my opponent's still got 2 flyers. So I'm actually really far behind with my opponent having 3 spells in hand. If I just draw lands here, I am going to lose for sure. I could draw a Colossus, though, like one time. Don't feel very good about our position now. Our opponent just is on all spells, right? Guess Revival Revenge is something. Alright, opponent keeping up Essence Capture there. If they attack with the 4-4, I'm just triple blocking it. Alright. Whatever, game. Whatever. I mean, even Orzhov Lock, it's a fine draw. The blue's a good draw for them, because now they can play blocker plus have up double blue. I'm going to need to draw extremely well to get out of this. Maybe my attacks were not good. That does not get essence captured, does it? What does it do, though? They lose half their life rounded up, so they go to 1. I go to 30, but I can't attack with my flyers. What can I get back here? Nothing. I can get back an Enforcer, which just becomes a flyer. Alright, I'm going to run it out. Can't essence capture that. Can thought collapse it. Quench doesn't work here either. Alright, so opponent's at 1. I gotta sneak in 1 damage this game. I can draw another Grasp and Thrall, but I can't run that into an essence capture. I don't think I brought my second consign to the pit in. Alright, so opponent's going to have really good attacks now, which is a problem. Or at least they can start attacking with the 4-4. Dealing with these as well, huh? Okay, so opponent's just going to go beat down here. Oh, please let me draw a flyer. Please let me draw a flyer. Or a Gate Colossus or something. Grasp and Throw would be perfect now. My opponent cannot deal with it. Ah, come on, deck. Alright, that's probably about game. My opponent's got me on a 3-turn clock here. And knowing that they probably have Essence Capture in hand, I'm not going to be able to stick a creature. I would need to draw a Throw, not cast it, and then draw into something else as well. You should probably attack with your 4-4. Alright, opponent missing out on damage, I guess, is fine. Orzhov Locket, maybe? I mean... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have 2 creatures that can block this Colossus. We know they have Essence Capture in hand. Let's see. This costs 6 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Play a land. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I draw a Thrall, I don't even have enough mana to play this for bait and then play Thrall. I'm just going to run out Colossus into this Essence Capture. And then I guess I could still draw Grasp and Thrall here. I need him to use this. I need to draw my second Grasp and Thrall. I think that's the only way I win. I don't have a Dead Revels in my deck. Nope. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They could also just draw into another Essence Capture, but maybe I can get lucky. Maybe, just maybe. Alright, Colossus number 2, and that is game. Opponent beat us with the Dirtles. That was a good game, though. Their deck's well positioned against ours. We drew a lot of lands. 10 lands total. Not enough spells. I don't think... The turn we attacked, we knew they had Summary Judgment. I don't think it was going to get better for us just sit there and not attack. It's unfortunate. They just had the right answers, but we lost with our opponent at 1 life. Couldn't seal the deal. This does put us at 1-1, which is where I hate to be, but we're going to try to squeak out at least 2 more wins here. See you in match 3. Alright, this is obnoxious. Opponent's going first. We're going to... let's just keep this hand. Let's just keep this hand and get there. Orzhov Guildgate into Gateway Plaza into land. Sure, I like this a little bit better. The 6 drop's annoying. I'm going to keep this final payment on top. Against green, I'm kind of happy. Ugh, Caretaker. Alright, that does block early on, but it is a card that is just one less card we have to really worry about from the opponent. They could go off with it. They're probably using it to splash, I would imagine, rather than just ramp. This is like the card you play. Okay, we're playing against Gates almost certainly. I'm going to run out Orator first here. I would normally run out Oligarch, but since I'm not going to be able to attack through the 0-3 anyway, I might as well sequence this so I gain some life. Do need to just draw land, 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 land. I'm expecting just my opponent go Gatebreaker Ram. Steeple Creeper. Alright. They can give that flying, I suppose. Just going to go ahead and pass the turn. If my opponent wants to use their whole turn to give Steeple Creeper flying, then that's okay, I suppose. Do need to draw more lands. I would not want to final payment this Steeple Creeper. They could also cast a 5-drop here. In my hand's good against green, but if I don't have pressure to make up for it, it doesn't really matter. Could also sack Oligarch here for final payment since it can't attack through 0-3 anyway. Skitter Eel, okay. Yeah, I'll trade for Steeple Creeper. Ooh, Summary Judgment's a good draw for not having anything. And just say no attacks. And not in great position here. Oh, if they adapt pre-combat, that's pretty smart. Play around Summary Judgment. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Against black-white, specifically this land configuration, you should probably adapt pre-combat so you don't run into Summary Judgment. No attacks? Seriously? No attacks. I guess if you're still worried about Summary Judgment, then you don't want it tapped. I'm going to just go ahead and kill this Skitter Eel now, though. Just take 5 for this. And take out the Skitter Eel. I think we can rule out a pump spell from the opponent. Otherwise, they would probably just attack with the Skitter Eel. They could cast Gift of Strength or Stony Strength here, and then they'd be okay with the Summary Judgment. Guildgate's not 100% what I wanted to draw there, but it's okay. I could attack with both my creatures here as well. Give them the option to trade off Steeple Creeper, which I highly doubt is going to happen, and still have the Oligarch back on defense. They want to trade Steeple Creeper for Orator, that's fine. If not, they just soak up 2 damage. If they want to use a spell from their hand, too, to go and take out one of my guys, that's fine as well. We got another final payment at the ready. Sure. Go and squeak in some damage here. Another land off the top lets me play Syndicate Messenger, which matches up well against Steeple Creeper. Alright, what else you got, opponent? What else you got? I'm worried about using my final payments on these early game creatures, though, in case they do play, like, I don't know, Wrecking Beast or something like that. Consign's a really long way off. I mean, land lets me go Messenger, Thrall, Consign, which is great. My opponent does have to tap Steeple Creeper too if they want to use Caretaker for mana. If they want to just cast a 5-drop, they could always just play another creature and then use Caretaker with the new creature. They attack with Steeple Creeper. I'm still blocking. No way I'm not. Oh, get in there. Get in there. Although they played around Summary Judgment last turn with the Skitter Eel, they probably still play around Summary Judgment. Really? Nothing? Are you holding up counter spells? I mean, I'm going to run out. Do I run out my Messenger? They could have, like, Frilled Mystic. Let's just make the same attack here. And then probably pass the turn. I am not comfortable running out my spells into potential double blue mana here. My opponent could literally have anything on account of the Caretaker tapping for whatever. Looks like they're having a difficult time figuring out what to do, though. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to pass. I'm not going to run into the Frilled Mystic or whatever it is my opponent's trying to cast here. Would explain why they're not doing anything either. They're sitting behind counter magic. I don't know that for sure, but it kind of feels like it. I mean, if I play Syndicate Messenger, they counter it. Even if it's just like Quench, then this game goes pretty downhill for me, especially after having attacked. If I think they have a counterspell, I should run things out pre-combat. Okay, did not see Wall of Lost Thoughts coming, but I'm fine with it. Mill 4. I do have Gate Colossus in my deck. Alright, Unbreakable Formation is probably my best card, though, and that's gone. I'm going to not play around counter magic now, because the only thing they could have is Quench, which they could cast. But if I draw a land, I'm just going to slam Grasp and Thrall. They could be a high alert deck as well. Like, maybe that would be a reason to just take these cards. Not a good reason, but clearly splash and white for something. It kind of feels like that, doesn't it? Like they're some sort of weird high alert deck. Fortunately, we're going to not use our mana for the turn. And draw another Grasp and Thrall. Could attack with both here again. Make them block with their 2 guys. Run this out now. No Frilled Mystic, but possibly a Quench. And getting this flyer on board seems decent. Oh, looks like they might have the counterspell. They do not. And I see no real reason to attack now since they have 2 defenders that can just block my 2/2 straight up. This also, now that I've tapped out, gives them the opportunity to block with Steeple Creeper and use a combat trick to just like eat my Orator if that's what they want to do. High alert decks don't generally play Steeple Creeper though. But I mean, I'm just imagining if I'm a new player, I see high alert, like, and it has the word defender on it, I kind of start thinking maybe I should draft every defender, right? I don't know that's what my opponent's doing, but you know, Skittereel could fit in a deck. You could play a couple high power creatures in a high alert deck and then just have that game plan, but Caretaker, the Wall of Lost Thoughts really just leads me to believe my opponent has the card high alert in their deck. Skatewing Spy, again, this card you can just play, right? You don't necessarily need high alert for, or high alert doesn't really make this card better than it already is. Gotta watch out for Stony Strength now, though, because that just gives a creature flying. Syndicate Messenger also not really the best attacker into a Skatewing Spy. They can adapt this next turn if they draw a land. This card's pretty sweet. Whoa, Stony Strength on that boy? Oh, it's 5/3 flyer. Alright, well, we're going to take 5 here and then probably just use Summary Judgment on that. Could also just play a Grasp and Thrall here. Probably right to just play Grasp and Thrall, right? Actually, if I Final Payment Skatewing Spy, that thing loses flying. I'm just going to get my Thralls out. A Thrall can trade for Steeple Creeper. I would not have suspected they had Stony Strength, though. Gained 3 life back that turn as well. I don't love Impassioned Orator, but when you're playing against it, especially if you're playing like Rakdos, this card is super annoying. It does usually gain them like 3 or 4 life. You know, if this was just a 2-mana, 2/2, you know, Lone Missionaries, when it enters the battlefield, gain 4 life, that's a card you would play pretty high percentage of the time against the aggressive decks. It's not the type of card I want here against my opponent's, you know, blocker, wall, flyer, counter deck, or whatever the heck's going on. Looks like my Grasp and Thrall is about to bite the bullet, maybe. Ooh, Rester's Admonition on Grasp and Thrall is not usually the best card to use that on. If I draw a land, I think it's probably right to go Consign to the Pit. Open the gates as well for a basic. Interesting, interesting. Probably getting hit by Steeple Creeper again. Opponent, I wish they were playing just a little bit faster. but they're not. Well, I'll just go ahead and play another Grasping Throw, I suppose. Hey, come on, opponent. Come on, opponent. We did draw a land, but that doesn't change anything for us. We play Grasp and Throw. Still not praying around. Essence Capture or Quench. Oh, if they have Essence Capture here, I'm going to be so angry. And it looks like we're just shipping the turn again. Haven't even been able to attack much, and we've got our opponent down to 12, which feels nice. Opponent's casting something for 2 mana end of turn. Growth Spiral, sure. Just cycling that. They didn't have a land last turn, so I think they're just, yeah, up a card here. And they must have drawn that forest for a turn. So opponent with 7 mana, potentially. It's a lot. Could die to just a flurry of bounce spells. Ooh, they... Yeah, if they just adapt this turn, I think I'm okay with that. Still going to present the block of Grasp and Throw on Steeple Creeper. Could also present the double block of Grasp and Throw and Messenger on Skatewing Spy, which would be a lot better if my opponent just taps out. If they do nothing, then I've got to think about what I'm doing. They did not do anything. Well, that's annoying, because that makes me not want to cast any spells, but it does mean I get to go ahead and keep up my spells, which is what I'm going to do. I'm all about playing around counter magic when I have the opportunity to do so. No, thank you, sir. Could go for the attack with the Grasp and Throw, and then if they try to adapt this, give it flying before blocks, I can final payment it. But I want to be a little bit more reactive here. That's decent. Once they have an adapt creature on board, it's not great. They can, like, surprise, give something flying. They do have an adapt creature on board. What am I talking about? Just really feel like my opponent has counter magic. This seems like a pretty safe bet to go ahead and throw out there, right? I can't hold up final payment plus summary judgment if I do that, but this can at least start attacking into my opponent. Presents them an okay option to use a counterspell on if they have it. It's been a long, grueling match. My opponent taking forever to figure out how to tap for things. Looks like they need another blue. It's the Thought Collapse. Okay. That is fine. That is fine. Mill me. Twilight Panther. We still have 2 Colossus in our deck. I still think I just have to sit here and pass, though. Could play Hazda Officer. That doesn't really do anything. Got my opponent sitting behind literally all counter spells, then I could be in a lot of trouble. So this can, okay, so they're going to play something that comes down with a counter this turn. Means they're probably going to use most of their mana, though, so I might be able to jam some stuff next turn. Probably going to end up using Final Payment on Skatewing Spy to just strip flying off of these creatures. Another Steeple Creeper? Okay. Sure, you got another Steeple Creeper. Creepy Steepy. Let's give him the opportunity to attack here. Opponent still says, nope, not playing that game. All right, I think it's final payment time, and I do think I'm just going to sack my Oligarch. Let's go ahead and target Skatewing Spy, sack an Oligarch. Oligarch's not doing too much against a bunch of 5/3s and 0/3s and whatnot anyway. Does present a 2-turn clock as well. Okay, land was a good draw, so now I can go Grasp and Throw plus Summary Judgment. I can attack with these two, and then the Grasp and Throw will still make this a 2-turn clock. Keep back my Spirit just to defend if I need to. And make sure, nope. Why would you tap like that? I need 1 white up. Red for the walls. Alright, Grasp and Throw number 2. Don't suspect a counterspell from the opponent here. And this puts them dead to just these two, if nothing else. Could even see just blocking with a Grasp and Throw if they attack here. Make sure I don't die to some weird flurry of pump spells. Growth Spiral again. Okay, the card's overrated. Playing more than one is not necessarily great. Alright. Just rampant growth there, basically. Putting on 3 cards. I do have lethal flying in the air. I also have a Consigned to the Pit in my hand. And the Officer makes it so, let's say they deal with one of the Grasp and Throws, I have to block with another one. Yeah, I guess I don't have lethal after that. See what the opponent can do here, though. Okay, cool. So, gained a bunch of life. Our opponent took forever to make a bunch of plays. They've got some weird cards in their deck, though. The 0-3 card's not great. Gates Ablaze against Steeple Creepers, decent. Yeah, I don't think Gates Ablaze is great in our deck here. Macabre Mockery seems pretty bad as well. I don't think we're going to change anything. Maybe I want another Consign. It's good against creatures they spend a lot of mana on. Maybe I don't, though. Alright, let's just play it again. See you in game 2. High Alert, Defender, Steeple Creeper, counter opponent. Yeah, this hand seems decent. It only has 1 creature, which makes Revival and Unbreakable Formation a little bit on the sketch side, but it's got all of our mana. Got a gate to start off with. Of course, draw the Gate Colossus now. Would have been awesome, basically any other game. Did our opponent mulligan? I think our opponent mulled. Alright. Didn't see a Quench. Not going to play around Quench here anyway. If they want to Quench Oligarch, so be it. Steeple Creeper does not match up too well against Oligarch. Nope. Thought Collapse mana up. Can't play anything anyway, so if I were to draw like a Grudion and I thought they had Thought Collapse up, I'd probably just play into the Thought Collapse. Maybe not. Revenge seems fine here. It's funny, we cast Revenge, put our opponent at 1, put us at 3, and they still killed us. Which is hilarious in my opinion. Yeah, let's go ahead and attack with Oligarch. Again, Oligarch matches up pretty well against Creepy Steepy here. And then we'll go ahead and run out another Guild Gate. A little bit closer to Colossus than it looks. Costs 6 mana, we'll have 4 mana next turn. And we're 1 off from the Grasp and Throw. If they just give this flying, then sure. Could final payment it. Alright, looks like no attack. Oh, I guess they could... I mean, if they go for Stony Strength here, or if they go for any pump spell, I'm going to final payment. Since I'm going to lose my guy anyway. Oh, Fairy Duelist. That's also fine. Go and kill Steeple Creeper. Wait, hold on a second. If I pay 5 and kill this, my guy's not going to die, right? I think I'm going to be able to cast my Grasp and Throw, so I think paying the 5 there is okay. Lets me keep attacking as well. And they don't have too much of a clock with just Fairy Duelist. I definitely don't think I'm just supposed to let them eat my Oligarch there. There is a chance I'm supposed to like sacrifice my Oligarch and not take the 5. They play like Rampage and Renhorn or something right now. That'd be, I guess, bad. But they're down to 3 cards. We've seen a lot of kind of do-nothing cards in their deck. Like they just play a wall here. Then I'm not too worried. Also casting Grasping Thralls next turn. I could see a world where they play a big creature, we play a Thrall, they counter it, and then we're just on the back foot. We can't get to Colossus in time. Oh yeah, tapping manually, huh? Skitterbutt. Alright, Skitterbutt's pretty good. Oligarch is not amazing. One more land and we've got Colossus, though. Yeah. Could go for a double block on Skittereel. That seems really suspect. We have 2 in hand. Probably just end up taking it. Could also block with Oligarch. Since I'm probably going to play another Oligarch. Alright, they're going to pre-combat adapt. I don't think I'm blocking Skittereel here. Maybe I am blocking with Oligarch. I think I'm going to take the first hit off of it, to be honest. I'm going to bait the Thought Collapse now. They didn't manually tap for that, though. They did not manually tap for the adapt, so they might not have Thought Collapse. Otherwise, they might have wanted to deliberately tap their mana. Alright. I think it's important to not throw away my Thrall here. Not too worried if the Oligarch dies, but losing the Thrall would be pretty bad to a combat trick. Since we lose it to, like, straight up Stony Strength, I think that's probably not for the best. Here, I could see Oligarch and hold up Revenge. If I run out the Messenger... Let's see. Let's see if they have the Thought Collapse. Looks like they do. Okay. Well, I'd rather run that out. Alright, 2 cards I don't care to draw in a land. And I still want to present this potential double block here. I'm behind on board, but not by too much. My hand's really good. I think I'm going to chump block Skittereel here. Since I want my Thrall on board. You have a card in hand you want to cast right now? Ooh, they could have Sagittar's Volley, I suppose. That would wipe my board. Now, that'd be really good, wouldn't it? Alright, well, Guildgate actually does let us cast Colossus here, so we're going to run it out. If opponent has another counterspell, they got another counterspell. I can't do anything about that, but I'm not going to play around another one. You could also just have an 8th land in hand, so who knows. Hopefully they don't have like something stupid like Mass Manipulation. I'm going to attack with my Thrall now. Then we've got pretty good follow-up here. Revenge is quite nice. Put my opponent to 5 and we go to 22. I guess they have like Arrester's Admonition on Colossus. A number of cards that make it so they don't just die. And they're not dead anyway. They can block Gate Colossus. Alright, they do in fact have Arrester's Admonition. Annoying. Annoying. And 2 cards in hand. Growth Spiral, sure. And looks like 2 spells, no lands. I am going to block Skittereel here if they give me the opportunity. Okay, wall, that I do not care about. Okay, didn't worry too much about any of those. I wouldn't mind drawing a land so I can go Colossus plus Oligarch and just be super safe here. Take 6. I don't like that. I am going to block Skitter Eel here. I don't want to play Colossus and then have it bounced again and then be dead on board or something like that. Yeah, that's a good draw. So we're going to go Colossus plus Oligarch and attack for 3. Our opponent's pretty close to dead. If they can't deal with Colossus, Skitter Eel does have to jump in front of it. Ooh, Chillbringer. Alright, opponent drew all these good cards all of a sudden. Yeah, if they attack with Skitter Eel, I am going to block with my Oligarch. Probably just cast Revenge next turn. Maybe... attacking with the Fairy Duelist too, huh? I guess it's not blocking, right? Probably just going to cast Revenge. Put our opponent at 4. Put us at 18. I guess drawing a land would make it so they can't quench us. So this is probably going to happen. And I imagine Revenge is going to be a lot better this game than it was for us last game. Alright, now we can just go ahead and ship the turn. I'm not trade in the Grasp and Throw, and then next turn we can go for the Unbreakable Formation, which means Chillbringer has to block Thrall, Skitter Eel has to block Gate Colossus, and then we get in for the 2 here. Could draw another Grasp and Throw to make it game. Could also, my opponent could just keep top decking removal spells for my creatures. I guess they've drawn 1, but Chillbringer. My opponent just does the nutso perfect draw again. 1 card in hand. Okay, that's a weird attack. That means they've got something, otherwise Chillbringer has to block Colossus, and they're just... I guess they're not just dead. They're not playing around Unbreakable Formation, obviously, but why should they? Really? Okay, opponent's got something going on if they attack with that as well. That or they figure in they've got to do some sort of blocks. They can't attack with both the creatures that block Gate Colossus. That doesn't work. Unless their last card is like a creature that blocks Gate Colossus. Because then they might be thinking, okay, I'll put Fairy Duelist on this. I'll put my other creature in front of Gate Colossus. Alright. I like that a little bit better. That makes me think they don't have a way to just kill the Colossus. Wonder what they could have in hand, though. Alright, let's go ahead and run out Twilight Panther and then play Unbreakable Formation. This just gets a counter on the Twilight Panther, even though it can't attack this turn. And then I get to jam with everything. If they don't have anything, then the blocks are pretty straightforward. Duelist has to block the Thrall, and Chillbringer has to block the Colossus, and the Spirit token gets in for 2. They could have Stony Strength here, which would not let them kill a creature. In fact, Stony Strength does virtually nothing. Alright, cast your last spell. What is it? I think if it was another Arrester's Admonition, they would have just cast it on their turn. We can probably rule out Code of Constraint at this point. Not 100% sure what I'm expecting from the opponent. Okay, I mean, that's fine too. They weren't just dead there. They do have blocks, but I guess their last card was not something relevant. And we got to take down a weird deck. Opponent had some strange things going on, but power to them. Light up the stage. Nice. So we get to advance to 2 and 1. Games are taking a little bit longer than I would like, so let's cut it short and go straight to match 3. Match 4, actually. See you there. Alright, we're back. Keepable hand. It's going to be a slow hand. We're going to cast a 2-drop on turn 3, probably. Actually, probably just cast the Locket on turn 3 against Wind Creek on the play. Where on the play, I should say. Opponent mulliganed once again. A lot of mulligans going on today. Alright, just lead off with the Rakdos Guildgate and pass. Yeah, we're going to have a very slow hand. Oh, Jesus. Well, guess we're dead. Guess we are dead. Alright, probably going to run out the Orator over the Locket, unless we draw something else. Draw like a Twilight Panther, that'd be quite good. Double Gutter Bones, okay. Alright, that changes things. Well, the Orator does gain us life. But I am going to go Grudion here, because next turn we can go Locket into Orator. A little awkward trading for a Gutter Bones, though, right? Ooh, opponent's not Rakdos. If I trade, they can get one back to their hand, but that gives me time. And it uses their turn. I think they'd rather just cast something from their hand. If they just get in 2 this turn and they bring Gutter Bones back to their hand, I think that's okay. It gives me a little bit of time here. Sure. Also, they didn't tap in a way where they could recast it. Yeah. I am going to get the Locket down into the Orator, I think. Overplaying Senate Griffin. This just means if I draw a land, I get to slam Gate Colossus, which is easier for Orzhov to deal with than Rakdos because they usually have final payment. I'm not blocking now. Okay. Alright, Scavenger's pretty good here. Colossus would be an awesome draw then. God, the mole into Gutter Bones, just ridiculous. Alright, we did not, fortunately, draw the land, so we're going to go Senate Griffin here. Try to hit our 6th land on top. Guildgate works too, right? Because it makes the Colossus cost 5, so we will leave Guildgate on top and then probably go for a double block. I don't suspect that'll happen, but if I can get my opponent to use tricks early, like if I can get my opponent to use a removal spell here, then that's fine. I guess Grotesque Demise is one reason to not do that. Looks like they've got it as well. This also means they can't get their other Gutter Bones back. Ooh, get them to use a final payment. That's great. Hopefully they don't have another one or a Mortify or something like that. Right, 2 cards in hand from the opponent. Let's hope this Colossus sticks. Mortify and final payment. And Consign to the Pit, all cards that can take care of this Gate Colossus here. If they attack, then they could have Blade Brand, which would be really nasty. Oh, God. Alright, I mean, I'm going to go for it. They got it, they got it. God, the opponent just always with the answers, right? Clear the stage. So we're going to trade here. They don't get the value off clear the stage. They just get the Gutter Bones back. We're reasonably stable against them, though. And we have 1 gate left in our deck, so... Oh, no, we have 2, don't we? No, we have 1 gate left in the deck. 1 more Rakdos Guildgate. Grasp and Thrall. Jeez, opponent is hosing us on their Mold of 6. Okay. That attack does not make sense. Consign. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and consign this Thrall. I'm not attacking. Still got a reasonable hand plus a Locket here to draw into some stuff. Basilica Bellhaunt. Oh my god. I think I just have to discard Unbreakable Formation. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna play that pass. Actually, I'm probably supposed to crack this now, right? That way, if I draw like Orzhov Enforcer, I can just play it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna probably, because my opponent's at the point where they could attack with everything. I can block a Gutter Bones, but they can just keep getting that Gutter Bones back. Could see playing Pegasus here, and then I have 2 blockers for Gutter Bones. Okay. We'll just have to take 3 off the Bell Haunt. I did draw the Guildgate, though, so I can put Colossus back on top. And see, they're going to be able to get these Gutter Bones back. And they could replay both of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they could just replay 2 Gutter Bones. Blade Juggler's good. Geez, opponent's got a really good deck. They have not played a bad card yet. Double Gutter Bones after the mold 6 is kind of ridiculous, but who am I to judge? Alright, go ahead and play the Guildgate. I do want my Colossus. And I can final payment this and have profitable blocks on the other 2. That stops them from getting the other Gutter Bones back. It actually doesn't because I have to take 5. So we go block here, and then final payment Basilica Bellhaunt. Hopefully they don't have Dead Revels. Going down to 3. I don't think I'm going to win this game. Yep. So because I took 5 for that, I did lose life, and their Spectacle is on this turn. At the very least, they can cast 2 Gutter Bones this turn, plus whatever else they have in hand. Jesus, oh my god. Opponent's deck just been non-stop hits. Hit. Every card is great. I have to chump with Concordia Pegasus next turn. I have to draw like my own Grasp and Throw, I think. I mean chump with a Spirit, not whatchamacallit. My draw was pretty good too. Okay, well, I'm gonna have a tough time beating this. Opponent's got just a succinct Orzhov deck. A little bit better than ours because it has a couple rares. Gutter Bones is like good. Gates of Blaze I like a little bit better here. And I don't think 2 Gate Colossus is quite where I want to be. I'm not sure what I take out though. Consign to the Pit's really weak against this opponent, I think. Alright, let's try it out. See you in game 2. This is not a hand that can beat anybody. Sure. Nope, get out of here. I don't feel good about my matchup against this opponent. They didn't play a single bad card that entire game. They cast quite a few cards. Sure, you've got the other colored 1-drop this time. I'll trade my Enforcer for your Panther. Important to make sure the opponent can't Spectacle. Alright, no. Run out Pegasus, please. Gates of Blaze is looking kind of embarrassing here. Discard it to a Bell Haunt if they play that. Alright, Guildgate was fine draw. Just fine. I'm going to go ahead and attack with Pegasus, though. Every time I play Colossus against like one of these like little weenie decks, they always have the answer too. The clear the stage wasn't even a straight up 2-for-1 for me because they got a creature back. God, I hate that card. So annoying. Unless you're like super far ahead when they play it, you just lose to it, and there are no answers to it. They didn't put answers to it in the set, man. All right, I'm gonna jam and play Noxious Geridion here. Maybe Revenge will come down early enough for it to matter. But my opponent's just got Instant Spectacle as well, which we only saw Blade Juggler, so Spectacle might not be that important. But they just go like Grasping Throws here. They're not taking damage. They're just sitting tight. They're like, I don't care about losing life. I'm going to gain it back. I need to rattle off some lands here. That was not what I wanted to draw. I can't afford to take 5 here. It just clocks me. I hate this card. It's so annoying. So we can attack here and here. Opponent might trade Twilight Panther at this point. Okay. Trade Blade Juggler. That means they probably have a way to get it back. They do want to preserve their life total. Why not trade Twilight Panther, though? Are they worried about me having something? Yeah, I'm definitely blocking that. Sure. Yeah, I don't feel very good about this match. Maybe I'm supposed to final payment that right away. Alright, it's a reasonable draw. Go and play it and pass. Not even sure what I'm looking for. God, if I draw that, I'm not going to hit a land. I think the way I win this game is by getting to Revenge before this kills me. I don't know. I don't think I can beat this in the long term. If my opponent was empty-handed, maybe, but they've just got 5 spells, all the mana they need. They've got a better deck than ours. We've already seen just great cards from them. Okay. Blade Juggler, sure. They're also at 20 life. I'm not going to go on my tirade about Ill-Gotten Inheritance here. I've already complained about it enough and how there are no real answers to it, aside from a really bad sideboard card and Mortify, which you always use on a creature before they play that. Opponent's just taking 5 because they were boss. This attack still makes no sense. You didn't offer that trade at all. And now you're okay with the trade? Gonna go down to 12. And just cannot draw lands for the life of us. Summary Judgment, kill your Thrall, and pass the turn. Wish this was uncommon. You'd have to face 2 of them every single time you play a game as well. Obviously, if you're the beatdown, you can take advantage of it. It's not great. I'm going to go for the double block here. If my opponent tries to clear the stage, I can final payment in response. As it is, I'm just trading Blade Juggler for Concordia Pegasus. I have no pressure on board. Debtor's Transport. Not normally a great card, but it's going to get me here. Okay, I've probably seen about enough of this game. I'm so far behind on lands. Yeah, this game is over. I can play it out, but they've got a way to beat me. I don't have a single way in my deck to actually get rid of the Inheritance. And they just keep slamming threat. So we're going to go out with the 2-2, which is disappointing, but I didn't think our deck was that great anyway. Kind of sucks that we got to slam Gate Colossus and they had answered to it. But our opponent's deck at the end there was very good. So I think that keeps it with Gruul. Was it Gruul that I did last? Gruul was the one that went all the way. Or maybe Rakdos did too. I don't remember exactly, but Orzhov definitely did not go all the way. And I think that's, again, too stupid ill-gotten inheritance. It's the type of card that wins games that you kind of otherwise wouldn't win. You just stick it, and then if the opponent stumbles at all, you just win the game. And it's like, oh, I guess I won. I didn't really do anything, but I got there. It's really annoying. We didn't see any in the draft, did we? Not a single one. I probably would have taken it. We want that for Orzhov, but unfortunately, we didn't see it. So I'm going to complain about our ill-gotten inheritance, and then we're going to wrap up the video. And complaining's done. So thanks for watching here on Mana Rocks. This is Byforce with Orzhov. And that leaves us with Azorius and Gates. Man, if we could just draft Gates and have the same draft we had this time, what did we see? Double Gatebreaker Ram, Gate Colossus, and Gates Ablaze. Gates Ablaze wasn't very good in our deck, unfortunately. It's kind of embarrassing in our opening hand there. A basic land would have been much better, but hopefully when we draft Gates, it works out for us. But that's going to go ahead and finish up this segment for us. We got 2 more to go. So as always, thanks for watching. My name's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and I'll see you guys next time.